Hi, in today's video I'm going to take a look at Doom modeline now playing, which is an Emacs package that will display what's currently playing in your modeline. And the way that it does this is by using playerctl as a dependency, which can connect to mpris enabled video and audio players and browsers, retrieve information and display it in the modeline. So what I'm going to do is switch across here to Emacs and open up a copy of Big Buck Bunny and show you it in action. So open up Big Buck Bunny. I'm just going to display both screens. So what you see is we've got Big Buck Bunny opened using Emacs and being displayed on the right using MPV. And if you have a look in the modeline down here, what you'll see is we've got a little status icon showing the current status of the video, which is paused. We have the playhead position, the duration, and the title of the video. So what I'm going to do is just start that playing, and as I scroll through, you'll see that this is updated in real time. Now the advantage of this is because we're controlling MPV using Emacs, using the MPV package. The issue is if MPV doesn't have focus, you don't actually get a on-screen display showing the duration and the playhead position. So if I give this focus and go like that, you'll see you've got a on-screen display there, and you have the little one down here showing the time and the duration. But because we've got Emacs focused here and not MPV, we're not getting that. So the advantage of this is that it will actually show you what's currently playing, the state, the playhead position, and the duration. What I'm going to do is just quit out of that, switch back to the laptop. Okay, and let's have a look at this. So the dependency is playerctl, and what we need to do is actually add these two bits of code, the Doom modeline now playing timer, and we need to alter our Doom modeline def modeline main. I'm going to take you through that and show you the actual options that we've got in here. So what I'm going to do is open up this file here and go through the changes that I've made to display it in the way that I did, and the reason why I've actually displayed it that way. So if I come across to my init.el, first of all, what we want to do after installing the package with Melpa is require Doom modeline now playing. Now the next option that we've got down here is max length, and this is the Doom modeline now playing max length, which takes an integer, which is I've set to 35. Now this controls the length of the entire modeline and all the elements in it. I'm not sure if there's a way to actually set a length for just the title of the video. From what I can see, you can only select and set a maximum length for the whole modeline and all the components in it. And again, if I just switch back here, open this up, you'll see this is the length of the modeline. These are the elements that we've got. We've got the status, the time, and the title. So the first thing that we actually want to do is change the Doom modeline now playing interval. So if I come across to here and now playing interval, what this is this is the delay in seconds to update the status. So by default it's 5 seconds. So what I've done is I've changed it to 1 second so that hang on. As you can see here, that means it's updated every second, which is what I want basically. So that's the next thing. Ignored players. Now playerctl has an option to ignore particular players, and by default in the code here you'll see it's actually set to ignore Firefox. And what I'm going to do is actually tell you two reasons why you want to set Firefox to be the ignored player. First reason, mpris support in Firefox is broken. It has been for about 20 releases. It used to work, but now it no longer displays either the playhead position or the duration. So if you're playing something in Firefox, you won't get the duration or where you are in the actual video. The second reason, okay, if I come across to YouTube, give it a second. Right. So typically the way that I play videos from YouTube is by copying the URL and playing it with MPV. So what I'll do is I'd use Vimium on Firefox, press YF. That brings up this little display here with a series of letters next to each link. I can then press DF, and that's copied it to the clipboard. I then use a program called WLR Which Key, which is a Wayland keyboard shortcut thingamajig that will come up when I press a keyboard shortcut. So I can press a keyboard shortcut E, M, and what that's going to do is actually play that video with I've got it paused for some reason. It will play the video with MPV, and see why it's not working. I'm going to set these kill MPV. Okay, so that's how I normally play stuff. And the reason I mention that is because if I run, if I search for MSNBC, what I want to do is show you on some particular channels what will happen is you go to a channel and the main channel page will have a video that starts playing like this. The issue is what will happen is playerctl will, if you don't have the ignore Firefox thing set up and what you're doing is copying URLs, play with MPV, what will happen is playerctl will pick up this video and it will lock into just getting the statistics from Firefox. And the only way to get back to just using MPV is to close the tab, which is really annoying. So those are the two reasons that you may want to ignore Firefox. Chromium works fine. The playhead position and the duration work fine. It's just Firefox has been broken for about 20 releases with the mpris support. So let's have a look at the next thing. So that's ignoring players, and you can put in as many players you want to actually ignore. So the next thing is the Doom modeline now playing format, and this is the format of the modeline that's going to be displayed. So if I come across to this section here, Doom modeline now playing format in the EL file here, what you'll see is a list of the supported metadata that can be displayed. It supports a number of options which must be wrapped in handlebars like this. So what you have is things like artist, title, player name, position, status, volume. Now with the volume, at least on FreeBSD, what happens is on FreeBSD the audio is slightly different than Linux. It uses a different sound system. And what will happen is it will just, you have PCM and you have the volume. And PCM is usually set to 100 and then you alter the volume level. What happens with the volume here in playerctl on FreeBSD is it just grabs the PCM volume, which is always going to be at 100%, and not the actual volume. So it always displays the volume at 100%, so that's why I'm not using it. You have other things like artist, album, title, that can be added, and you can actually check those out. Playerctl. You can see a list of all the commands that can actually be used, and the sort of the metadata. What you have is a way to format the metadata. So what I'm going to do is actually take you through the format that I'm using here. So what will be helpful is if I open video and just pause it so that I can actually cross-reference the code with what's actually displayed down here. So what you'll notice, first of all, I'll get to the icon here, but the bit we're concentrating on is this section here. What we have is, you can see we've got square brackets, we've got the position, a divider, the duration, and then the closing bracket, and then the actual title. And that corresponds to this section of code here. So we've got the bracket, and then we have the handlebar bracket. So we have duration, position. Okay, so that corresponds to this section 0:01. That's the position. We have the divider there. Then we have duration, mpris, length, and that is the length of the actual video. And then finally, you've got the closing brackets, space, and then title. So that's the actual title of the video. So that's the now playing format. Actually, I'm just going to open this up again, and I'm going to show you a reason why we actually have this quite small. And also going to discuss the actual positioning of this Doom modeline here. So in this next section here, what we can see is Doom modeline define modeline main. So this is your main modeline. And what you see is we have two lines here. A bar, which I presume is this little thingy here. You can see at the end we've got the time. So the time is here. So the top one here corresponds to items on the left in the mode line, and the second line corresponds to items on the right. So you can see here I've got now playing at the end of the first left mode line, so that's why it appears here. If you want this to appear on the right, what you would do is move now playing to over here, and then it would appear on this section. Okay. Now the other thing that I wanted to mention is the actual order that I've actually set. You can see we've got the status, we've got the position, the duration, and the title. What I'm going to do is actually open up emacs config elper Doom mode line now playing. Okay, so what you will see here is, because I've opened a file with a long file path here, what I have is Doom modeline set to truncate except project. And what that does is, you can see here, it would be .config emacs elper. And what it's doing is it's truncating those sections and actually just displaying the actual file name here. But what happens is, when you have a long file name, obviously that's going to push everything to the right along. So you can see this section is now pushed right across to the right. And so the reason that I put the time and duration first here and set the max length to 35 is because otherwise it would push all of these items off the screen. Also, if you have the duration, you know, if this was even longer and you had the duration after the title, that could be cut off, that could be pushed off the screen. So that's why we have it this way round, basically. So I just come up here and let me just show you the, okay, so this is my Doom modeline. So this is the Doom modeline buffer file name style truncate except project. And that's what produces this output here. But I just wanted to mention the issue with sort of long file names. So that's the format. That's how we create that's how we can put in the modeline and actually position it in relation to other elements in the modeline. So the next bit we've got down here is the modeline, do modeline define segment. Okay, so what I'm going to do is come across to the code here. So do modeline, where is it? Toggle status, the one with all the icons in. What was it called? F segment. Okay. Right. So do modeline define segment now playing. So this is the default code that's going to be used. And what we have here, you probably can't see. See if I can. What I'm going to do is actually show you in Emacs because we get the icons. Okay. We've got do modeline define segment now playing. So what we have down here is this bit of code, and what this does is this checks if Spotify is the current player, and if it is, it uses a Spotify icon, and if it's not playing something with Spotify, what it does is it falls back to this generic music icon. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just shift across here and show you the little screenshot. So by default, this is what it will look like. It will have two icons. So if you're not playing something with Spotify, it will just have like a music icon and then the status of the player, you know, paused or played. Now, I didn't want to have two icons just because it takes up more space. And the other reason was it didn't really make much sense to me to have a music icon if I'm playing a video. So what I did was actually alter the code to remove that and also change the icon. So what I'm going to do is just come across here. What I've done is actually, you probably can't see it, but I've removed that bit of code so it doesn't display the music icon. And what I've also done is change the v-adjust. So if we have a look at the code here, you'll see what we've got down here is these two icons. This is the default play icon, and this is the default pause icon. And what you'll notice is they have a little bit of code here saying v-adjust. And what this does is it adjusts the vertical position of the icon. So what you can actually do is find your own icons to use instead of these. Because as you can see, let me come back to desktop. What I have here is a nice little circle with a pause button or play button. And what I did was actually come across to nerd fonts. Okay. Oh, and do that and that, and come across to icons. And what it will do is it will take you to this URL, nerdfonts.com/cheat-sheet. And what you can do is you can then search for nerd icons that you want to use in your modeline. So play. You can see here we have all these different play icons. You just basically copy these and paste them into Emacs. So that's how I changed the play icon to the little circle. And you can do the same for pause. What you'll see is there are ones that are actually play and pause, I think. Pause. Oh, there's one for... Some of them are sort of dual purpose. Let's just check. Play... I can't remember which one it is. I think it may be in the play circle that I used. One of these ones. But anyway, that's how you can change the icons. And what you're going to want to do, as I said, is by default, the v-adjust is set to minus 0.0575. And what I've done is change that just to 0. What that does, if I open that up again, is you can see here that then puts that in line with everything else, whereas with the default settings with a different icon, it's not going to line up, so that's why you may want to change it. Okay, so that's the icons, and what we do up here, if I get back to the init.el, what we're doing is we're running with eval after load, do modeline now playing, and then we're copying a bit of code from the package and altering it by removing the extra icon, adding in our own icons. Yeah, you can see here the icons that I'm using are NFFA circle underscore play, and for the pause icon, circle underscore pause. So we wrap that with it within a with eval after load bit of code. Now this is the important thing. If you notice on the README here, I scroll down, have some more tea. Add the below line somewhere in your config after loading the module, and then adding the mode line to your mode line. So you can see here by default it's put it on the second line at the beginning, which will make it come up on the right. Now this line here, what I found, this happens with a lot of Emacs packages, is that this kind of initializes the do mode line now playing timer. And what I found is you need to put that after your customizations. If you put this, like for example, if you had that right after require and then set all these options, the sort of the mode line will be initialized with the default options and not the ones that you're overriding. So for example, the now playing interval time would be 5 seconds instead of a second. So that's why you want to set the options and then put that at the very bottom so that it actually doesn't use the default options and uses your custom options instead. Okay, so that's the sort of the setup. Is there anything else I need to go through in this? So obviously you need playerctl installed. You need your nerd icons. And what I'll do is actually go through my config and show you some of the setup that I've got for this. So if I come across here, see if I've got any. Okay, yeah, there we go. So this is EL feed, and what I have is EL feed tube, and EL feed tube MPV installed. And what this allows me to do is subscribe to YouTube channels or playlists with Emacs, and then actually have them displayed like this. I can now open this video with MPV for within Emacs. So Control C, Control D. And I'll just give it a second. And what you'll see here is, you can see here it says watch.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this
right, and what I'll do is I'll just switch that across to both. And what you'll see here is the playhead position, and I can.
At this point, we are literally just days away from the end of Donald Trump's hush money trial. We could end up with a jury verdict.
So what we have here is the live transcript.
Tuesday, we do have the closing.
So we actually have a transcript that can be updated in real time and displayed.
It's going to be interesting to see because
the currently spoken text, which is really nice. You can also just click and jump to a section. So if I just click to that, it's actually going to jump to 30 seconds. That's really nice. What's really great about this is you'll see the position here, the duration. You can see here the title is truncated. You can see here ... Okay. Now, the reason this is really nice is because you can use this in combination with a Hydra. So if I press F2, what you'll see is I have a Hydra here that allows me to control MPV using emacs. So I can forwards, backwards, forward the frame, pause, play, quit, take screenshots, show the OSD, jump to the next item in the playlist, show items in the playlist. So what I can do, for example, is actually queue up multiple videos. So I can Control C, Control D, that's added to the playlist. And I can see the playlist here. And one thing to note is until the video is played, it just displays the actual URL. Once it's actually playing, it changes the URL into the title. So this is great because then I can see, okay, this video is coming to an end. I can switch to the next video. So if I just press N, what's going to happen is it's going to jump to the next video, and you'll see it saying watch here. And then it now changes to Republicans ban mention. If I press E, I can see the full title here.
A really interesting and
you can see this is updated in real time.
Stupid thing happened in the House of Representatives last week.
So
when Democrats,
we've got that playing from within EL feed tube, as it said. It also works. I have Diode set up so that it will automatically open videos from within Diode using MPV, and as you can see, we have the same deal down here. We've got the video playing. Also, if I let's go to another screen. MPV, Big Buck Bunny. Okay, pause that. So this is me opening Big Buck Bunny in the terminal. If I switch back to Emacs, you'll see it's connecting to MPV using playerctl, using the MPV mpris package, so that I can, even if the video is opened with outside of Emacs, just using MPV on the terminal, in the terminal, it's still going to connect here and actually show you what's currently playing. Quit, and you can see it quits instantly. And that's another reason why you want the if I come up here, that's another reason why you want to change the update interval to 1 second, because otherwise if you quit the video, that would continue to be displayed for 5 seconds. Okay, so that's pretty much most of the things I wanted to cover on this. If you come across to playerctl, let me come across to an old script I have. Okay. I'm just going to do is grab this bit of code here and switch across. Okay. So what I want to do is just show you Firefox not working. Okay, so I'm going to open this video. Okay, pick one that's not started. Go to Magpie channel again.
That's happened in the FA Cup.
And that, Adam P. So we got Firefox playing here. You see it's 15 seconds of a 19 duration video. So what I'm going to do is switch across to the terminal here, and why sorry, I forgot I'd got 2 screens set up there. My bad. So what I've got here is playerctl, some code. So what I'm going to do is just press return here, and what it's doing is it's showing the title, the artist, the player name, the status, the art URL, the position, duration, and the URL. And what you can see is this is the information that's being extracted from Firefox. You can see it's got the title, the artist, the player, the status, the art URL. I click the art URL. What will happen is you will actually see it's showing the art URL is the thumbnail from the YouTube video, but the important thing is the position and the duration are empty, and that is because mpris support on Firefox has been broken since the last 20 releases or so. It used to work, but they broke it and then just never fixed it. So that is Firefox, and that's why I set Firefox be ignored, because it's not going to show you the position and the duration. Let me come across to Chromium instead. So Chromium. Right, I come across to YouTube. In the same video.
Fire, you know, I'm
okay, what I'm going to do is switch back here and run the same bit of code. And what you'll see, this is the output from Chromium. You can see it's showing exactly the same stuff. What I'm going to do is show you the art URL. So if I click the art URL, you can see it's showing the thumbnail. So the art URL does work with Chromium some of the time. Sometimes it just shows a Chromium icon. But the important thing is you can see here it's actually showing the position and the duration correctly, whereas Firefox doesn't. So that's why if you're wanting to use a browser with mpris support, you're better off using Chromium than Firefox. Okay, so we can get rid of that window. So that's the overview of the now playing Doom modeline. I don't think there's anything else I need to go through in there. So yeah, basically you just install it with Melpa, MetaX, package install, Doom modeline now playing. Okay, and again, the couple of things that I like to change, and the reason I did so. Let's just go through my whole Doom modeline. So required Doom modeline 1, enable the icons, Doom modeline buffer file name style truncate accept project. That's what produces this output where it truncates the everything apart from the file name. Yeah, so rather than trying to display .config emacs elper and then the file name, which would obliterate most of your mode line, it truncates it so you just see the file name. But the reason I mention that is because obviously the now playing would then be pushed across to here. You could set the now playing to be displayed right across here, but it's just up to you. Okay, so that's the truncate accept project. Hide the time icon, and this is the now playing. So again, require Doom modeline now playing. Secu Doom modeline now playing max length, and again this is the maximum length of all of the elements inside the Doom modeline. And I'm not entirely sure if it's possible just to try set a max length for the title as opposed to everything in the mode line, as it were. Then we got the update interval to 1 second, so that we got the counter displaying every second rather than 5 seconds. We're ignoring Firefox for the 2 reasons I mentioned. One, because the mpris support is broken, and secondly, if you're using Firefox and copying the URLs to be played with MPV, sometimes, as I said, you can get a video accidentally play, and then playerctl will kind of lock into, I'm using Firefox, and won't display what's being displayed in MPV, and you have to quit that YouTube tab for it to release it. We then had the Doom modeline now playing format, and again we just had the duration, the position, and then the duration mpris length. So that's the position, and then the total length of the video, and then the actual title here. Again, the next thing that is important is the Doom modeline define modeline main, and these are the elements. So if I were to, for example, move the time, and put my cursor here and run Control X, Control E. Time will get removed. Put that back. I presume this bar is this. I've always wondered about that. So if I do that, just wonder if that's the actual bar. Yeah, so if you ever wanted to get rid of that bar, that's how you do it. So, you know that little bar there? You know, if you just find it pointless and you don't want it, you can just remove the bar. So these are all the elements in the mode line, and obviously you can sort of change them. But the important thing is the first line is what's on the left. The second line is what's on the right. So having now playing here will make it appear after this. If you wanted it to be displayed there, you know, at the very beginning, you could. Or you can put now playing. You know, if you wanted to have it to the right of the time, you'd put it after time. If you want to have it the very left here, you would put the now playing over here. So that's how you position the element in the mode line. Now, the next thing, again, just recapping, just in case you'd forgotten, is we wanted to alter the actual mode line and what's being displayed and the icons. And what we did was we did with eval after load do mode line now playing, and copied this bit of code. Yeah, all that. And then we sort of changed it up a bit. We removed the extra icon, and then we went to the Nerd Fonts cheat sheet to get some new icons. And the icons that I'm using are the NFFA circle_play and circle_pause. And again, those are the default icons. So those are the sort of default icons, which I thought were a bit unattractive, to put it mildly. So I just thought that was a bit nicer. You know, it looked a bit less obtrusive in the mode line to have those icons. But that's just a personal preference. So that's how we changed the. We removed the music icon because one, I didn't really feel the need to have two icons taking up the space, and secondly, it seemed I usually just play video, so it seemed a bit odd to have a music icon in the mode line. And again, remember to use the V adjust if your icon is not in line with the rest of the text and stuff in your mode line. And then finally, the important thing is setting the Doom mode line now playing timer at the bottom of your customizations, just to make sure that it's initialized after the customizations and not before, because otherwise, as I said, you'll get weird behavior with the things like the timer defaulting to the 5 seconds instead of 1 second. I think that's pretty much everything. As I said, make sure you've got nerd icons installed, obviously Doom mode line, and you need playerctl installed. What I'll just do is actually come up to top here and show you the packages that I've got installed. So Doom mode line now playing, Doom themes, elfeed org, elfeed tube mpv, and also mpv and nerd icons as well. And if I come down here, I'll come down to my mpv settings. So I've got a big load of mpv settings. I'll just come through. If I can find them. Okay. I should just search for them, but okay, so I've got my diode FD, just searching for making sure I don't miss anything. Okay, so MPV. So this is the MPV package. What you can do is you can do stuff like set the default MPV options. So example here, full screen name TP3. So this will set any videos opened with Emacs from within MPV to be displayed full screen on my second display. I've got a few functions in here that I've knocked up, like getting the title from the clipboard, creating video links for org mode so that you can have an org mode link that will automatically open a URL in MPV. Play URLs from the clipboard. So have a look through my bit of code here and just pinch whatever you feel like. I've also got stuff for changing the org timer to use milliseconds for MPV. So it's bang on accurate. We have the MPV commands here. So these are the commands that are actually used in the Hydra. So the Hydra is this thing that comes up when I press F2 that allows me to control MPV using Emacs. So we have seek back, forward, just like you would if you actually had MPV in focus. You know, we can go to the next item in the playlist, previous item, remove items, jump to items in the playlist, take a screenshot, insert the current playhead position into an org document. What we've got here is MPV and diode. So what this is a bit of code that I wrote that actually checks the MIME type of a file. And if it's one of these MIME types, what it will actually do is it will open it with MPV. So as you can see here, if I just do test, okay, not a video. So what this bit of code does, we just close the do modeline thing. What this bit of code does is when you're on a file, if I just press L, it'll open it if it's a text file in Emacs, but if it's a video, it's just going to open it in MPV. So that's really nice because what you can do is just actually go through and queue up multiple videos. So the way that it works is if you haven't got a video open, it will open a new video in MPV. If you are playing a video and you open another video, it will actually add it to the playlist and it will be played after the first video is finished playing. So those are the MPV diode bits of code that I've got that I covered in previous videos. This is using EWW. Got stuff for grabbing sort of the audio from YouTube videos, downloading stuff with ARIA2C, and this is the Hydra. So this is what shows up when I press F2 like that, and all these commands correspond to the things above. You can see there we've got seek backwards, forwards, it'll play, pause, that sort of thing. And basically it just makes it much easier to actually go through. So if I want to come through some of my videos, let's see, here's Duke Nukem. So let me just rewind that, stick that onto OSK both. So you can see here I've got a video opened here, and you can see it saying, it shows the actual title. So it doesn't show the file name, it shows the title of the video. So we can see we've got paused. What it means is I can come up and scroll through here. The Duke. And what I can do is actually just come through and queue up another video like that. 3d.grp start quiet new 3d come across and then press N and go to the next video. Changes rated. And the reason why I wanted something like this was because when I'm controlling the video like this, I wanted to know where I actually was in the video. If I press O on the keyboard, it's going to show the on-screen display here. and that will stay on screen. But I don't really. What you want to do is come across. I don't really want that. You know, I don't want something displayed on screen all the time. I wanted something in the mode line showing exactly where I am in the video, so that, you know, as I'm going through it, I can go, you know, in patches and customize, see exactly where it is. Okay, so I think that's pretty much it. So again, I'll close that, switch that back to laptop. So again, the other thing you want is the nerd font. So remember, nerd fonts, icons, cheat sheet, search for play, search for pause, you know, or Spotify. So you can define different icons for different things. So you could actually write your own code to, you know, there's one for Chrome. Yeah, we've got Chrome there. We've got Firefox. Yeah, got Firefox. So what you can do, if I come back to the, basically come back to the code, emacs.el per do mode line now playing. So what you can see here is this section here, if string equals Spotify player. So what you could do is actually duplicate this and say something like if string equals Firefox or if string equals Chromium, and then basically replace, you know, those icons. So, you know, Firefox, grab the Firefox icon, put it in there. You know, same thing for Chromium or whatever player, and it will display, you know, that little icon as well as the play pause as well, so you can actually see what player is being used basically. So that's another thing. Again, you may need to adjust the VSync to get everything in line. Can't think anything else I need to cover in that. Yeah, so node fonts, find icons for stuff. MPD does have, there is a MPD mpris, MPD mpris. There's MPD mpris and MPD ris2, which can add support for MPD. So it'll work with playerctl. I'm not using those because there aren't packages available on FreeBSD, and I just use NCMPC anyway. But I just wanted to point that out. And again, for MPV, you want MPV mpris. Okay. So what you want to install for MPV is MPV mpris, and that's going to be available in most repositories. You don't need to actually doing any configuration for this, but you will, as you say, it uses dbus. So you want to make sure that you're using a window manager like I am here. I'm using DWL and Wayland, and you want to make sure that if you're on FreeBSD, dbus is enabled and that you start dbus when you start your window manager. So just a quick look on the FreeBSD side. Is it etc.rc. Always forget. Bus. Yeah. Okay. So in my etc.rc.conf, I have dbus enabled and DWL start. And the way that I actually start DWL on FreeBSD is I log in at the console and then run this DWL start script, which runs exec dbus launch exit with session DWL S, and then, you know, setting the font. This DWLB is the actual bar up here. So that's how you would start DWL or any sort of window manager on FreeBSD or sort of Linux. But you need to make sure that dbus is enabled for mpris to work, and then you can use playerctl to actually either control the video. So, for example, let me just show you. Okay, so I've got that there. Open a new one. So playerctl status, you can see it's paused. I can do playerctl play pause, and that's a toggle to toggle play and pause. What I do is basically set that as a keyboard shortcut so that I can actually just press a keyboard shortcut. Let me just find my... Okay, yeah. So basically in my dwl config.h, what I have is playerctl play pause, and that's bound to Alt, Super and space, so that whenever I press Alt, Super and space, it will actually toggle playing and pausing the current video. So that's a wrap up of everything, and have a look at this. Yeah, it does. Okay, so have a look at the playerctl man page. So what you've got here is all players, follow. You've got the format. You can ignore players, as I said. Status, play, pause, stop, previous, next position, volume, metadata. So the metadata is how you can actually pull out various bits of metadata. So let me just switch back to so this is a script I was sort of showing you before. What we've got here is playerctl metadata -- format. And you can see you've got title, artist, player, player name, status, art URL, position, duration, length, URL. You can extract loads of stuff, but it's not really practical to try and stick all of that in your modeline because it wouldn't be enough space. So that's why I've gone for something nice and simple, just like that. So we can just see this should play. Oh, there we go. It was playing and pausing. Should be able to click that and actually toggle play and pause, but it doesn't always work. There is one interactive command for do modeline. So if I run do modeline now playing, what you'll see here is do modeline now playing toggle status. So if I press that, you can see it's now playing. If I toggle that, it's now paused. Okay, let's just shift that back to here. So that's pretty much everything. I've tried to go into it in as much depth as possible. If it wasn't working for you before, as I said, the issue was that it was actually using all the icons and hadn't been updated to use nerd icons, and that's why the icons weren't displaying in the mode line for me. So this is a great little package for Emacs. Does what it says on the tin, displays what's currently playing. You can customize everything to your heart's content. You can, customize what's actually displayed here: the artist, album, title, duration. You can change all the icons using the nerd icons cheat sheet page. So easy to get set up. I'll put links to all this under the video and hope that helps.